Welcome to Roughing It with Ruth, the channel where everything is a bit rough around the edges. In this video, I'll go over 3 really quick and easy ways that I improved our basic hiking baby carrier. We received this baby carrier second-hand, but unfortunately it either didn't come with a sunshade or we might have lost it somewhere along the way. Luckily, I managed to find a second-hand one at a charity store near us. Unluckily, the sunshade and the hiking carrier are 2 different brands, and the sunshade is too thick to fit into the sunshade casings on the carrier that are made for this purpose. At first I thought I would have to cut them or sew extra bits on, but then I discovered these handy little nylon loops on the inside back of the seat part of the carrier. Problem solved. You just slot the sunshade in and it stands perfectly. Ta-da! I wish all DIYs could be this easy. I actually don't think this even qualifies as a DIY. The pack also has little loops that the sunshade hooks on the front can clip into. Okay, so that took like 15 seconds. On to problem number 2. Unfortunately, at the section of the waist belt, there are 2 metal rods that kind of dig into your back a little bit, and unfortunately, the hip belt is not wide enough to cover that area. Enter the duct tape and 2 little pieces of foam that I had left over from another DIY. Again, this was super simple. You just position the foam on the metal rods and duct tape it in place. I did consider trying to sew an extra piece onto the bottom of the hip belt to make it wider, but the reason why it's so narrow in the first place is because the carrier stands upright when you put it on the ground. So if you made the hip belt wider, it would kind of get crushed when you did that. Here's the finished product. I used black duct tape to try and blend it into the carrier. Okay, down to the final hurdle. As you can see here, the last time we used this carrier, we tried to stuff a jacket into the front so that our son had something to sleep on, because it's really not all that well padded. And I wanted to try and make something a bit more permanent. At first I was thinking I could sew something or use duct tape, but then I realized that's not the way that this DIY wants to go. So instead, I raided all of our closets to look for something that we already had. I discovered this old thing in the back of the nursery. I think it's supposed to be some sort of cold weather cover for our pram. It's a Graco product. In this case, I decided I was going to roll it up into a lovely pillow and use the existing straps and snaps to both clip it closed and attach it to the hiking carrier. I think this is pretty self-evident judging from the fact that I have no idea what this cover is for, but we have never used it, so I really didn't mind converting it into something else. This is what it looked like when it was strapped in. Minimal effort, but a massive improvement in comfort for both me and my child. Okay, I promise my next DIY video will be actual DIY and not half-baked repurposing of old things. Just subscribe to my channel and you'll see these future brilliant DIY videos.